Welcome to Connect Church and welcome to Cross Training. If this is new to you, this is all about a spiritual movement where we get to rest in the presence of God together, using the exercises of spiritual disciplines. And one of those spiritual disciplines is the Word. It's the weight we're going to now pick up to work out our hearts and our minds and our souls. And it's a heavy one today because we're picking up the heavy heart of the prophet Elijah. And it's heavy because of what has taken place prior to the verses that we read 3 times. What has happened is that Elijah was on a mountaintop experience, literally. He was on Mount Carmel for a competition between the false idol god Baal and the living God of Israel. It starts with Elijah and the prophets of Baal building altars, and the point is that the true God will light those altars on fire. And the prophets of Baal begin. And they're conjuring up all this stuff, trying to get Baal to interact. Nothing's happening. And Elijah gets a little sassy pants on them, saying, well, maybe it's siesta time for Baal. Maybe he's sleeping. Maybe he's out using the restroom or something. He's just not present. He must be checked out. Nothing happens there because Baal is a false god. He's idol. It was the living God's turn, and Elijah ups the ante by pouring tons of water on it, and the God of Israel lights that altar on fire. And in response to that, Elijah goes and he has all the prophets of Baal, 450, killed. You see, this is key because Jezebel, Queen Jezebel, she's worse than the wicked queen with Snow White. She was nasty. She had all the prophets of the Lord killed, except for Elijah. And when she hears that Elijah had all her prophets of Baal killed, she responds and she says, I'm going to do to you what you did to them. I'm going to kill you, Elijah. And Elijah reacts to that by running, fleeing for his life. And he takes his servant all the way to Beersheba. The important piece of that is he leaves him there because he's kind of a smokescreen. Like they may follow his tracks there, and then he sneaks off all by himself to the wilderness, to the desert, to a place of isolation. Mountaintop experience to desolation in a desert. And it's there that he asks God to kill him. Like, you take me out. I'm done, God. I'm done physically, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. Just take me out. This is a homicidal request. Euthanasia. And in his exhaustion, he goes and lays under a tree and takes a nap. And God meets him there. And God tells him, arise. And he gives him food to eat. This, I think, is the key. Elijah was down, and he was done. But his God was never out. He never checks out. We know this because of the gospel. We know that Jesus is the one who was killed. That was the homicide. In our place. And on the other side of the cross, this is what happened. There was life. There was resurrection. He arose. And this is the encouraging bit. I don't know if you're down today. I don't know if you're just done physically, emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. I'm here today to encourage your heart to say that God has not checked out. He hasn't. Because Jesus rose. And he meets us in our wilderness to sustain us, to uphold us, to speak resurrection into us. Arise and eat. Because there's still purpose for us. Your God is not checked out. He is the same powerful, living, resurrected God as on Mount Carmel. And he is that God to you today, whatever place you find yourself in. Do not lose heart. Be encouraged. Blessings.